Chris, what pleased you most about the win at Blackburn at the weekend?
Winning a game of football. You always have to do a lot of things right in the preparation and the week leading up to it. Their record at home, as we talked about before, was a really good one, really strong one. And as we got a target on our back, as always, in this division. We have to understand that, accept it, and we dealt with it. And delighted, especially second half performance. Thought everybody played the part. Good substitutions, not in terms of what we did, in terms of bringing them on, but the impact that they had on the game. And a really good day, backed by 4,000 plus supporters. Hope they enjoyed the day, and as I said afterwards, a nice feeling getting on that bus at about 3 o'clock, 3:15. Looking at other managers and other teams and other players and other clubs having to go through what we've just been through. So nice feeling over the weekend, but quickly moving on into Sunday preparation, which is key. I don't think people will recognise and understand the amount of preparation at this level now, and the way the game is now that goes into preparing for the next game. So we have to enjoy that win because it was a good win and it was an enjoyable day for us all. But quickly on to another game this week away at Bristol City on Tuesday night.
Can you believe there's still some fans that are unconvinced by Kieffer Moore at times and critical of him?
I don't know what people want at times. We're after perfection, but I think there has to be a realisation as well, realistic sort of situation where we are as a football club and the players that are coming in. As I said, I think always my answer is ask the coaching staff. There's a lot of games there that's been coached and managed, and most importantly, I get a message off TC on Saturday afternoon. That's quite a decent example of somebody who knows the game, has played at the ice level, who is an incredible Sheffield United, our best player of all time. How good was Kieffer Moore? How good was he as a number 9? Love to have played with him. Goes into him, it sticks. He's an out for us. So that's not a bad recommendation. And I think, as always, what the players think about Kieffer and 99.9% of our supporters. So I should imagine it's diminishing that number. I understand it when he doesn't score, and sometimes his touch is a little bit off. But players make mistakes, and they're not perfect. We're not perfect as a group, myself and the coaches, but we're trying to get to as close as to make everybody happy and smile. But his contribution's big, and the players are the ones that really you should ask about in terms of what he gives every opposition coach and manager that we go in. How good's Kieffer Moore? How good's Kieffer Moore? So yeah, we don't need convincing, and all he has to do is get his head down and keep going because he's a vital player for us.
I know you've gone with one down the middle in most games this season with 3 in behind, but that kind of partnership in the second half involving Moore and Campbell a little bit and how they were working off each other, can you see that kind of growing? Because the link-up seemed to be something that was really beneficial. Yeah,
I don't get caught up in sort of the one-on-one. We try and get 5 at the top of the pitch. We try and get our and the way the modern day game's going, 5 and 6 at the top of the pitch is common. Talked about the game against Leeds United. They have 6 at the top of the pitch, 6, 2 and 2. So that's their build. So formations and whatever, out of possession and in possession, out of possession. You'll see what we are. And in possession, we try and get as many people at the top of the pitch and around Kieffer. Whether it's Jez on the right or Brooksy, whether it's Callum or Gus off the left, whether it's Harrison or at the top of the pitch, whether it's a 10 and a 9. So as many people at the top of the pitch as we can possibly get. Just making sure that counter-attack is big in this division. That we're nice and steady. I always think that teams are the most vulnerable when they're in possession and when they're attacking. So what does it look behind it? And obviously our defensive record is spot on. So our organisation and structure behind the ball has to be good, as is the majority of teams in this division in terms of how they are in possession and out of possession.
Rian, okay? after the weekend? Will he be okay for Bristol
Yeah,
City?
we're checking him. So he got a bang to his thigh. The first thing is that it's not a hamstring injury. So which was the biggest fear straight away because of his history with that that part of his body and the history that he's had. So we'll give him as much time as possible today and to be ready for tomorrow.
Vinny got a bit of a clatter as well. Is his head still ringing?
He's okay. I've got to say, I look back at it, and I'm going to put the referee's report in today. It's a definite sending off. Absolutely 100% sending off. We felt the goalkeeper was a tight one. I can possibly see that from his point and his position, what he saw. I just think the reaction of the players around that straight away. Gus's reaction was straight away to put his arms up, and he's the closest there. I know referees can't go off what Gus Amer's reaction is or the lads round him, but I always think, when you see something really as quickly as it happened and the reaction of everybody, coaching staff, players that were really close to it, referee made a decision, but definitely that's a sending off. The boys led with his elbow, and we're pretty fortunate that Vinny hasn't been wiped out, but I think you understand he's a tough old boy, and he got up and got on with it.
Yeah, you were shoving him towards the away end at the end of the game. Have you seen a kind of bigger turnaround in perception of a player than Vinnie Souza in such a short space of time?
There was one with Jack O'Connell early on. He got plenty of abuse that the team did at the start of that sort of campaign because we didn't get out the traps, and 3 losses out of 4 wasn't good enough for Sheffield United, and I understood that more than anybody. But Jack came into the club, and he was new into the club, and he gave a penalty away against Millwall. He had an absolute nightmare against Southend, a couple of own goals. I think Dan's there and nodding his head. So it wasn't the best of starts from Jack, but for him to go on and have the career he did at the football club was incredible. Arguably one of the best left-sided centre halves in the Premier League at that particular moment. Got a call off Gareth Southgate regarding England. Do you think? And we all went, yeah, absolutely 100%. And then it didn't materialise, and obviously the rest is history. But certainly Vinny's turnaround is all credit to the boy, and all down to him 100%. Quite easily could think, I've signed for Sheffield United in the Premier League, I want to play in the Premier League, banging doors and moaning and groaning to agents, as some do. But from the first day, we talked about it at the back end of the season. From the first day he walked through the door, it's been absolutely outstanding, and his performances have been incredible. And he's a real leader, popular boy, and he's a huge player for us, and the supporters recognise that most importantly. I think when you talk about supporters and what they have on the attitudes of players, they're not far off. The majority are, if not all, are not far off on Kieffer. There's a couple that have to take the time to win supporters over, but Vinny's reception and the accolades he's receiving are deserved, and all credit to him.